I wanted to make this video just kind of explaining the song that I'm going to be coming out with that I wrote. This is a song for you, about you and to you, just kind of like the other one was, if you haven't seen the one about a song to my subscribers and all of you that had um y- a more kind of just to say that one had a different flavor to it than this song that's going to be coming out. Before I get into that, though, I just want to make a note, about what I feel after not using AI for music, after not using it for a while, and I've been coming up with my own songs. I've been very creative. You know, when you use AI for music, you cheat. Like you cheat. It's like, you are not taking sovereignty and ownership of your own creativity. You're allowing something else which isn't you to do it for you. All you're doing is putting in a subject, a genre, and then a feeling. And then it's just doing it for you instead of you yourself coming up with the music where you can control the lyrics. You can control the the melody of the song your way, instead of something else doing it for you, where you don't have the freedom to do that. And it's kind of, handing your your um your power over. And in this case, I want to say it is kind of, laziness. I'm going to honestly say that, to hand to not, for you, instead of you producing songs, you come out with a song from the AI, and then it's just, AI slop. And so I don't want to give you AI slop with music anymore. These are all going to be my songs that I come up with that I feel really passionate about, that I feel really strongly about from my heart, that I want to express whatever it is. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is, how like, um, how, you know, serious it is, or how, literal it is. I mean, the songs will come out the way they're going to come out. Now, if you're watching this, you know, I shouldn't say coming out because I'm going to post this. Probably this is going to come out after the song comes out, because I don't want you to hear this and then just get the full message of the song, and then it ruins the effect of the song itself. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Um, so going to the new song, this song is about the comments that I get on my videos and how I personally feel when I get comments. And I haven't got too many, but the more, like, I notice my subscribers really going up, the more following that I get, the more comments there will be. And this song will hold a more powerful message the more and more it becomes. But this song does not contradict the other song about, not for anybody else, because I have to get real. I have to get literal. If I totally get into the song, I am gonna be sucked by this whole thing, like a sponge or whatever. Like, I have to draw boundaries, but I'm also expressing it in a different way, and it's really both and. But the only reason why I get on and film videos during the week, besides the podcast episodes and the planned videos that I do, is because I just want to do them. Like, I feel this inspiration to do them. Unless of course, I'm reading and I am really into the book, and And I have kind of a rule with that, like when it comes to reading, I um this is not going to be edited. I do it until I just can't do it anymore, or I just can't focus on it, like because otherwise I would be having this interest, having that interest, and then getting off, very, very quickly, where I want to read a lot and have, a strong goal about that. Um, and well, not a goal exactly. Maybe I should do a post about goals and why I'm, against goals, maybe. It's an idea. Um, and I did have something about not finishing the things that I start, which is really, really worth reading because there's a really powerful lesson and message. Um, and what I have to say with combined with my own astrology and some of the lessons I've learned along with that. So it would be, good and I think worthwhile to go in to the post and look down and read that post. So without further ado, I want to get into just kind of the synopsis of the song. So when I get comments, there's just something about it. Like I see a comment and like I feel anxious, I feel my adrenaline rushing, like I feel on the spot, like, okay, here's the attention. I'm not private anymore. I'm not doing this just for myself anymore. This is somebody viewing this. Numbers are just numbers. But when somebody comments, it's like they're responding to what I'm doing, and it feels, oh, wow, this is real. This is, that's how I feel. And it gets me anxious when I look on my phone and I see just a part of the comment. I'm like, is this a good one or is this a bad one? And then I read it and find out. And whether it's a good one or bad one or not, I still get anxious by it. And my heart rate, like I can feel my heart rate rising, when I see comments. Like I can just feel it that way. And I think, when I see comments, when I read them, when I, do all that, I feel that you have a soul inside you. Like I feel your soul when you write. Like I feel like, as the song goes on, you are very, very alive when you write. I feel that you have a spirit when you write. Um, and so, when you write, there's something about not feeling free. And I'm gonna get into that later. Not feeling free, feeling kind of just non-liberated, like kind of this feeling of just like there's something so powerful, maybe because of my Scorpio energy, but there's just something so powerful about you bowing down to something that is more in control of you and in a kind of metaphorical sexual kind of way, handing your power over to that. Like sometimes that can be very um delicious feeling to, like if I want to exaggerate it, a very, very good feeling to me when I do that. Just the idea of it, probably not the real thing, but just the idea of that. So it kind of emphasizes that. The lyrics go on to explain why I don't feel so free. Like when you comment, I don't feel free necessarily. Like I feel held down by the comment and by the viewer. Um, that's like I can't be, my true self when I see comments. And I'm not discouraging you for writing comments. This is just my feelings, and it's a very varied, gray, nuanced kind of song. But that's one of the feelings that I feel, and I'm going to be honest about that, or I was honest about that. And then I feel very held down. by the comments, both the good and the bad ones. Like very held down, like something else is in control of me instead of me being in control because I am the creator and I created the video. Instead, it is you who seems to be um in control of me when you write comments and hold me down. And it sometimes it could be some comments, not others, but maybe all comments. I don't know. You get the point. And then it goes on. It's like you're all the same, like everyone under the sun. Um, and really, I can't really tell the difference between one person and another when you are like it's different when you're meeting people, meeting someone versus another person, and you're getting to know them, and they're very, very different from the next person. Like when you write, it's like almost the same person, but a different account and a different maybe way of writing or a different tone or a different um, message. But it's like you're all the same person, just different accounts writing different messages. That's my honest feeling. Now, while I'm not going to get consumed and sucked in and absorbed by it, I will have to admit that there is something charming about it. There is something attractive about it, intellectually attractive about it. Like I had other things about intellectually attractive, how I define intellectually attractive, because it's so human. Because again, you're alive. You're not just a machine or an AI writing comments. You are individuals writing comments on my videos. And so there's something very, as I said, intellectually attractive about it. And so I will have to admit, it is natural for us to want to like the attention of the comments that we get. And I do like the attention. I do appreciate when you write, nice comments, for instance, is what I'm referring to here. The attention, like getting the attention, like almost validation. Maybe you could say that that's not my philosophy now. But the attention, because when I get comments, I know that this video is being truly seen, truly thought of in the minds of others, and getting the attention of others when you write. Like again, it's real now. And then I really like the praise and the compliments that come out of those comments. And I list examples of it in the song later on. When I'm caught in a silver haze, again, that could be trapped or that could be very Neptunian energy, which is very caught in the fantasy of it, caught in the fantasy of what the elation, I guess you could say, of the comet itself and how it makes me feel up in the mind, like caught into that, not grounded down in reality. That's what I mean by caught in a silver haze. And then the other lyrics repeat. And then it kind of re-emphasizes the fact of control. Like I feel when you write, you have seem to have a lot of power. Like you may not intend to have a lot of power, but that's how I perceive you when I see comments, is that you have power. You have power over me. That's what the song is saying. Um, and it's as if you are in charge. Like you have, you're the, judge and jury almost, I guess you could say. I mean, you have your opinions and they're very, very strong. And it's as if you are in charge of the video. Even though I created it, I know it. It's like when you write, you are in charge of it. Like you say it in your opinion, just seems to matter whether it does or doesn't. It's as if you are in charge over me. more powerful than me. And so, when you write, there's a powerlessness that I do get when I see comments, a powerless feeling. Um, um, so I'm gonna go in because I'm recording this before. Just a second. This is not going to be edited. Um, the next lyric is I feel really powerless when I hear your written voice. Like again, there's human voices when you're meeting people, and then there's the written voice from you when you write, and just in general when I read, but the written voice. Like you have a written voice. You seem to have a voice when you write that is inhuman, not who you are. If I were to meet you, I would see the complexities and hear your voice individually and hear the differences, but it's your written voice through the tone and the way that you write the comment. It may be a little different, it may be the same or similar, but it is a written voice, the voice that I hear that you seem to have when you write. And there's something very beloved about writing. There's something very attractive about the written word to the voice that I have in my mind in general. So there's something that I am very drawn to with that. Very mentally um kind of ways. I would throw in a term, but I mean, can I don't judge me, please, if I throw in this term. I'm just gonna throw out this term, mind sucks. Not necessarily the sexual feelings like the sexual urges, but just intellectual traction in terms of the mind feeling kind of sexual metaphorical feelings instead of you and your body and real sexual feelings. It's like intellectual sexual feelings. Well, it's not the literal thing. um but when I feel really helpless and powerless, it is not necessarily a bad thing. It is very it is a good thing even though it's negative. Like it's both and a negative and a positive. If somebody says, like, somebody says, you have a talent from one of my astrology videos, and I was so caught up in the video because I didn't name the podcast that I was doing. There was too much information in the video. Like, that's the flaw that I found. This person said you have a talent. And I thought, well, I thought of that. I knew it was good, but I was so caught up in the flaw. Like, just to hear somebody else say that was very refreshing and very, oh, trying to think, very, I guess, relieving is the word that I'm trying to come up with. Like having me see the big picture of my videos instead of getting caught in the flow. Like I'm telling you, this is to you. Teach me to see the big picture in the videos. Like when you comment, show me the big picture because there may very well be a flaw. Like when my face is cut off, or when I um film an image not fully, or take a picture not fully, or do something else. Like don't nitpick the little details. Instead, focus on the big picture and show me to focus on the the bigger picture. Because I, with my Jupiter and Virgo energy, can get so caught up in the flaws, and my inner critic is, very, sucked into that, and I'm observing myself, and I'm very critical, and I'm very detail oriented. Like most of the comments I get are big picture, the video being great or whatever, and that is so nice to see, because it takes me away from my judging, um, in too bogged down in the details of that. So you have a talent, it naturally as humans, it makes you feel good when you hear others say that, you have a talent. Like it reassures you. It gives you fuel to keep going. It gives you confidence and belief in yourself. It makes you feel good to simply say. Or when somebody just says, great video, or thank you for this. Like I've seen that a lot, several times with certain people say that. Or I agree with you, and here's why. Like, there's I agree, well, that's fine. But then when you actually explain your beliefs, your opinions on it, supporting me when you write comments through agreeing with me and writing why you think you agree with me in your own way, in your well-written, edited, creative, I guess you could say, authentic way. Because again, what you write is authentically who you are and authentically what you want to express, just like with the things that I put out are what I authentically want to express. So it's a two-way street here. So when you say I agree and you explain, then that is intellectually attractive. That is, I'm very drawn to those comments because they are with thought. They're with, you put thought into them because you're explaining. Like, that's what I like to see under my videos in particular. Now, it does feel very overwhelming. There is an overwhelming feeling like, oh my gosh, this person said this, and, I just feel overwhelmed by this. Just like, oh, it's a little bit much. And it does make, honestly, I do feel uncomfortable about it. Like there is a part of me that feels very uncomfortable when I see comments. Like I don't feel settled. I don't feel totally relaxed. Like I'm not breathing. Like it's kind of like metaphorically, I'm holding in my breath instead of exhaling. Um, it's not quite a comfortable feeling. It's more like as I said, my heart rate goes up. It's kind of like like my body is very on, and it's kind of like your nervous system. Like I can feel my nervous system ramp up when I see comments. Like, well, like my nervous system slightly, ramps up a little bit, goes up, and I can feel my nervous system, in my body when I see comments. That's what I mean by uncomfortable. Sometimes it feels scary to see comments. When I see the notifications on my phone, then I see part of a comment like I'm anxious about the comments. Is it a good comment? Is it a bad comment? Like I will, not take it personally, but I am interested and curious to your comments, which is a huge reason why I allow them on my videos, on most of them, unless the ones I just feel really uncomfortable with, and I don't want to allow comments. This doesn't mean I'll just eliminate comments entirely. This is just, I want comments in my videos. I want you to comment. This song isn't saying I don't want you to comment because I'm feeling these things. So, it does feel scary when you comment. Like because, when I see it, again, I'm worried. Is it good or is it bad? And just when I read the whole thing entirely, it's like, very scary. Um, because, again, the video is not private anymore and somebody else is seeing this and this is somebody's true opinion about it. And, I can't find another way of explaining it, but it just scares me. That's a natural feeling that I get. Yet it feels very good when I feel scared, when I feel the adrenaline rush, when I feel my heartbeat, when I feel that kind of feeling. There's something about it that's, addictive, like Like I always look forward to the comments, like I'm always drawn in, like like you're drawn into your phone when you get notifications, like you're drawn into the next TikTok video. Or something like that, or when you eat sugar, you want to eat it again. Like when I see comments, I'm like, "Ooh, I'm addicted to it." Like my focus becomes very, very fixated on that, and I'm totally absorbed, and I just need to know what you said. Like I can't not know, and I can't not read what you said. And it feels very, very good. Like it feels intellectually attractive, as I keep saying. It feels very, it's a good feeling. Like it's a like in Deborah Silverman's Scorpio video, when she said sex makes funny noises and whatever, in her acting video where she acted as a science, yet it feels good. Like it's like, written sex, mind sex. Like it feels scary and it feels like, ooh, very kind of like, ooh, this is literal. Oh, I'm interacting with another human in this kind of way, but there's something that just feels so good about it. Like you know what I mean if you've ever experienced that. And I haven't really experienced real sex. Like this is getting kind of, real in this video. But I have to bring it up because it's true. It's a true feeling of mine that I have, yet it feels good. There's something that feels good about it. That's what I mean here. The other thing is, it makes me feel very self-conscious when I get comment. Like very, self-conscious. Like I look at myself very, very carefully. Like I naturally look at myself like, what can I do differently? Or what can I change about this? Or makes me feel um, you know, embarrassed probably is one emotion. It makes me feel like on the spot, like when somebody in real life comments like I saw your, video, whatever. It's just like a celebrity going out in public and fans come up to them and say, "I'm your biggest fan. Can I have an autograph or whatever?" Like, uh, um, and then you feel on the spot. Then you feel like, oh wow, I feel just overwhelmed and a little uncomfortable. Like you have to admit it is uncomfortable. Like it's kind of the same thing. Like how a celebrity feels when they go out in public. That may be me one day. I'm just gonna tell you that may be my reality sometime in the future. Like Mel Robbins goes out in public and she might get a lot of attention. The famous YouTuber, very infamous, Mr. Beast or Darman, when they go out in public, they get a lot of attention. It's that kind of feeling, like that self-conscious feeling that you get when you get attention from viewers and followers. There's a lot of exhilaration in that. There is anticipation when I read through the comment and when I get it on my phone. Um, and quite honestly, as much as I need to draw boundaries and as much as I want to focus on me and not make the videos for you, because otherwise I would be totally sucked in by this and I have to be real about myself. Otherwise I would be totally, totally absorbed and not be grounded, not be realistic, have my mind focused on other things without the kind of romantic, I want to say, drawn feelings. And then I can't be present and I don't have the right mindset for my daily activities. So that's why this song does not contradict the other song about needing to set boundaries. But I feel this is very important for me to express. There's something about you, even, though, I don't like it when I see comments sometimes. It just like I don't like it when I hear my internal voice sometimes in my head when it's annoying and when it's bothersome. And when I just want to tune it out, when I want to switch to the other voice in my head, not that one voice or whatever, when that voice is really annoying and I don't want to perceive it, regardless, it is a friend. And the same goes with your comments. Like you seem to be a friend to me when you write comments, at least the ones that are positive and not negative and critical. And then, it's like you see me as a friend. When you say, I understand what you're going through, like somebody wrote to me yesterday, it said, I understand what you're going through. Don't cause yourself burnout. And it's like you heard the video, you understood what I was saying, at least at the beginning of it, and you responded, and through that you are supporting me on my own authentic path, understanding me, and it's like, well, somebody said it, so that just only supports me, like this is the right path to go in. I should be doing this only because it feels true for me, and also because somebody validated that. Somebody confirmed that. Somebody reinstated and re further emphasized that, which was already something that I wanted to do, but it was further emphasized. And so, seeing you as a friend when you write those comments, again, there's something very charming about it. There's something very attractive about it. There's something very alluring about it. And all your thoughtful ways to keep me going on my precious days. And this means that I'm going to be on YouTube for a while, and it's going to be like a kind of a normal thing. Like when you're on YouTube, the more you're on YouTube, the more normal it becomes, the more or less scary, and the more you get used to it, and the more like, you know, day to day, rinse and repeat. Um, y- I'm making a videos this weekend, it becomes a routine. I'm used to seeing comments, and it's a routine. Like there's something that feels good about a routine. Like a friend that is by your side all the time, like a rock of reliability, like a friend that you can count on. Like, those friends that are very, like you can count on them. They're gonna, be there. It's like a daily thing where you're used to them, it's very familiar. To keep me going through my precious days. The comments keep me going. Then again, I'm not going to be absorbed by them. So, both and. Further emphasizing the whole being under control thing, I say being held captive. I feel that you are in control of me, even though I am the creator. Um, and then when you say things kind of like um hot sauce in a sauce of a dish, it's like that ingredient overpowers and takes over. Like I feel you taking over my videos in some way when you comment under them. Like they're no longer mine, they're yours. Like I've kind of like there's a metaphor that somebody I used to follow uses, like I played with this tool. I played with this toy when I made the video, and now I used it. And now I'm putting out into the world where it can be seen, it can be viewed, it can be commented, like anyone can see, anyone has different opinions on it. Like I played with the toy, and now when I publish it, you get to play with it. You get to enjoy it. So, that's one way of doing it, is feeling taken over by what you say. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing. And I trust that what you write is not lie and lie and lie. What you write has honesty in it. Like what you write is honest, is from your mind, possibly from your heart. Like, you mean what you say. When you write comments, especially because you can edit those, it's not like you're just saying something, then potentially say something and you don't think about it before you say it. Like you can catch yourself and you learn to think before you speak. Um, you mean what you say. It's very honest. Like you write very honestly, or at least, I believe that you do write honestly. When you comment. Um, and so that's what the song is emphasizing in all your special ways. Like you are honest, like you have your own truth. You have your own opinions. You have your own beliefs and feelings. And I'm honoring that in the song. I'm acknowledging that in the song. Like if I was still having my Amenton when I was young, which I explain in the intellectual traction post that I wrote, you would be just one Amenton guest or an Amenton idea or an Amenton conversation. And I discuss it so you can understand what that means if you're wondering what in the heck is that. I'm not going to, go into that because I don't want to repeat myself. But the whole idea around it, though, is well, you invite guests in and you find ways to honor them. And this is a way of honoring you and acknowledging you. That's what I did when I was little, honoring a mentor. Like there was a mentally, like I was drawn to, I was enamored, like almost like having a crush on, or um, kind of mentally romantic feelings about somebody when I did the Invented. This is kind of similar to that. I want to be honest about that. And all your special ways, like you're honest in all your special ways. You're all, unique and you all have your own autonomy and your own truth, and you communicate that honestly. However, that other song did emphasize, though, that sometimes when I see comments, as good as it is, as exciting as it is, as good as it feels, it can feel a little bit much at times, and it can drain me if I allow myself to get totally absorbed by it, especially the negative ones. Like that Indian in the Cupboard movie. Like, when the kid felt drained, yet it was, very, very negative, yet there was like a magical feeling of it, like a non-realistic feeling, like I've heard the magic. It's like when you use a magic cookbook and you, like it's magic, and you do wrong with it, and then you feel drained by using the magic cookbook in the wrong ways because the recipes had spells. It's kind of like that if you ever seen Just Dead Magic on Amazon Prime. I've seen it countless times over and over again, all um 5 seasons of it. Um, and so sometimes I do feel drained or pulled down by what the comments say. And sometimes, depending on it, like, one thing I didn't say in that other video is when I was growing up, I was very sensitive to what people thought of me and to what goes on. And even though I'm very resilient and very, thick skin and all that, I still have my sun in the fourth house, which is Cancer. I still have my Saturn in Cancer. My Saturn in Cancer makes me very sensitive and challenges me. Like Saturn in Cancer is like, well, there's a blockage and a challenge to feeling emotion, but there's just this sensitive feeling that you're challenged by. And so I do feel very sensitive to the comments that I see and what others respond still, even though I'm not shy anymore, not afraid to put myself out there, I'm still very sensitive to that. And now when I'm sensitive, I've heard it said that I am very defensive, which I don't think is entirely a bad thing. I think defensive in my mind means I'm defending what is true for me. I'm being assertive about it. I'm standing up for myself. Like they say, you're just so defensive, like they mean it as a bad thing because my Mercury in Taurus, for example, or my Sun in Aries. Um, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, so I want to add that. Um, And sometimes with the comments that they're negative, I feel hurt by those comments. Like, it hurts me in some way. When I hear my internal sound, like, especially, it adds on to that when I feel this is probably going to be a long video. Again, get used to my long videos when I especially express my thoughts because they're probably going to be this way. Um, sometimes I feel hurt when I feel you're alive, I feel you're alive and I feel hurt. When I feel the internal sound in my head. I feel you writing, and then it feels really real when I hear the internal voice in my head. When I see you writing, I hear that voice, and then I'm either hurt or overwhelmed or shocked, feeling all those kinds of emotions. However, it is an honor. Like sometimes I feel honored to see comments. Like that one comment that said, "You have a talent." Oh wow, I never thought of that before. I didn't expect you to say that. Wow. Thank you very much for that. It's like when somebody gives you a comment, you're like, "Oh wow, thank you. I didn't, realize that." Like it's that kind of thing. Like a good surprise, like a happy surprise. Not a negative surprise. Like sometimes it's a negative surprise, but sometimes it's a happy surprise. When I see comments in particular. Sometimes I feel seen, as I've kind of stated before. Sometimes I feel understood by the nice and not the mean. Like, not the mean comments. Obviously, I don't feel understood by those, but the nice ones I do. And I can hear it. Like, I can hear you saying, "I'm glad," when you're glad about the video or something in the video. I hear it when you write by your dialogue, when you write, you expressing your thoughts as opposed to writing like an informational, objective essay or an article about something. It's different than that. You're writing it from the perspective of first person or second person, and you are expressing your thoughts as opposed to writing a a fiction book or an online article or a not necessarily journal entry is what I mean, but like an encyclopedia of something or Reader's Digest if you want to go that far. Um, it's like you expressing your thoughts, and so it's you talking, but in writing. So when you're glad about it, I hear it. When you're mad, I feel it. By the tone of your writing, that's like really, really consider the tone of your writing. That's very, very important in writing. Like you have to know some basic writing skills before you get on YouTube and write community posts and write comments. Yeah, I'm just saying, advising you, really consider the tone of what you're writing underneath videos because that can get interpreted one way or the other way. So when you're mad, when you write, and you may intend to um, be, one way, and then I interpret it as another way. This Mercury retrograde coming up in Pisces could have me really misinterpreting that. So really double down and be very clear on your communication in that sense. Um, so, you can go and watch my Mercury in Pisces retrograde podcast and hear what I have to say about that. And I do talk about that when I talk about the communication aspect of what I'm referring to in that podcast. Um, so when you're mad, I feel it in your writing by the way that you write and by the way that you say. Like you could say something mad, and I perceive it as good, but more often than not, you say something good with non-intentions, but I perceive it as like a negative, like a critical, like a mad, just the feelings are not objectively what things are. Feelings are perceptions. Feelings are non-logical. Like they can be based on it, but they cannot be based on it. Like it's a feeling, not logically. I'm objectively seeing what you're writing as it is and how you meant it. It is how I feel about that writing. But sometimes it's intellectual. Like sometimes it's not just you expressing your opinions, but you have thoughts to say about it. Like one comment said under one of my shorts, "I disagree with you." And I was curious. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to argue because I didn't want to get defensive or, make myself look bad or anything naturally. I wanted to know, like, I'm curious, why do you disagree with this thing that I think is so legitimate to say? And so I I asked, "Why do you disagree?" This person explained, and then I, as a creator, really wrote well, in my opinion, and really articulated in an in-depth way. Like when you write very in-depth, it also adds to it your articulation. Like when you write really well, it like intellectual attraction. I'm coming back to that point. Like I'm attracted to writing that is wrote out very professionally, very very well written out in a way, very well thought out of, very cleaned up, very professional. Like that is intellectually attractive. Like I was reading on Google, attracted to subjects. Like that can be one form of intellectual attraction, but it's more of a different kind of thing. Intellectual attraction can also be I'm just drawn to or attracted to because of like it's like again. sexual in the mind kind of thing. Not, the real feeling of it, but I'm just attracted to the way that you're writing because it's so good. Kind of like the when you put ask feature under videos and it writes it out. Like that is intellectually attractive because of the way that the AI ask feature is written out. Like when you click summary of the video, summarize the video and how it writes it out, I find that intellectually attractive. And it's kind of the same way. When you write intellectually, sometimes the writing is neutral, like there's not a whole lot of feeling in it and bias in it. Um, writing is writing. In the end, that's what it is. I can't really think of a way to explain that. I think I had it. Sometimes they're all written. Sometimes they have meaning in them, like true meaning. Sometimes they are articulate. Your comments are articulate, but sometimes they're just critical comments. It may be blasting, like, at the worst, it can be blasting me, which is an extreme thing, which I think that none of you who subscribe to me will probably do, but the ones who just come onto my videos and never seen me before and look at me, like I look at myself and go, ooh, that's embarrassing. Like, why am I coming across that way? Why am I saying that way? I sound embarrassing. Like the way, like my tone of voice and everything sounds like embarrassing. Like I feel embarrassed by this, and only I am allowed to feel that way in a way where I can have my inner critic saying that and nobody else saying that to me, reflecting it back to me in the comments. Like it's an internal thing. It should not be reflected externally to me, if I have to be real about that. So sometimes they're critical comments. However, I don't feel it all the time. The feeling does go away. I don't dwell on it too much. I dwell on it a little bit, but anyway. Um, it can be too much sometimes. And this is really, a kind of love message. This part of the song is a love message out to you, saying, honoring you, really honoring you, like acknowledging you in the song. You are all so smart. And I want to say this in a beloved kind of way, in a beloved kind of way here. And that's how I want to come across this video. But I'm very aware I'm not going to let myself get consumed by this video and by all of it because I'm very, like, I don't want to become totally absorbed by it. I can't just objectively focus on my day. So I'm very, very mindful of that. I just want to say honestly that, when you write, you're all very, very smart. Like I trust that you're all intelligent and smart when you write comments. You all have a conscience. You're all human, have a spirit, even though it's in writing, even though it could be like an AI writing, it's kind of a blend. It's kind of somewhere in between human and written out on a computer. And going back to what I was saying in that video, it's like you're there, you can see me, you're in the room, but you're from another place entirely. You're just connected through a cyberspace, connected through, like, this is the Aquarian age that we're living in, connected to all those kind of things like that. Like on the internet, it's not like you're, facing somebody out in real life. It's like you're connected, like people can see you, but through another portal, like through another medium that's not connected to this physical here and now reality. And so that is very just wow. That can be very, like, isn't that amazing to think about in a very beloved and imaginative kind of way? Like how you the same way goes with how you are enamored by moving portraits in Harry Potter and how you think they're magical. How, in for example, in movies, in especially live action movies, how you see fairies and how you think they are magical. They are magical. And you're drawn to them in a way, like, wow, you're amazed. In a kind of attracted way, and you want more of them. Like you want like you're just you think that they are beloved in a kind of way. Like if that's how you feel, then I'm sure that you can relate to that. And I was very drawn to both of those two things when I was younger, for a while. I was very drawn to the feminine, a lot of female characters. Now it's more on the male side of things. But anyway, you all have thoughts and feelings. Like you all have your unique voice. Like you all have your unique thoughts and feelings. Like you're all human. That's what the message of the song, that this line is saying. You all have souls. You are all so special. Like you're all so unique. And I hope that, when I get, more following, then more individuals see this. You're all, this is an exaggeration, and I realize this, but I just want to throw in this is what it is being like being in an admission. Like you exaggerate, you go a little bit extreme, you make something a hyperbole or something more than it is. So you're all beloved, quote unquote. Like there's a belovedness to the comments, both the good and the bad ones. I want to throw in there. Then again, I have to be real about it, which is the other song that you write to me. And the song concludes with this is how I feel about the comments that I get. So those are all the things I feel about the comments that I get. I wanted to make this video to explain this. This video will come out after the song so that you can hear this way. But that's all that I have to say on that. This was kind of again another long video. Just I'm gonna be real with myself. There are gonna be long videos. Expect that they're gonna be long videos. Don't expect a short video unless it's like a song or something. Like just expect that from now on, just like Carly from Owning Authenticity, just like Latitude Shava, from her astrology channel, they are going to be longer videos, because I have a lot to say, but at least I don't, seem like I just, exhaust you. I don't think I seem to get to the point having deliberation like this point, this point, this point. I'm Mercury Taurus. So, anyway, that's all I have to say, and bye for now.